Hello everyone, welcome back to another video and happy Halloween. Hopefully you'll be seeing this on Halloween night. I created a fun little photo for the first time. I digitally painted and I recorded the entire process to share with you all my first attempt at painting digitally and how it came out. And so that's what we're going to be doing in today's episode, is creating a little Halloween card photo. And I'm taking you through that process from beginning to end, so enjoy. So I'm starting off with this background that I created off camera. It took me like 45 minutes to put this background together, stitching together different already sort of pre-made created photographs and parts and pieces to create this kind of backdrop that's going to be the background for the digital painting that I'll be adding later. I also went ahead and created this AI body. I wanted this like 1950s pinup woman who's kind of dressed in a witchy sort of way. The AI gave me more of a French maid with cat ears. It was close enough, but not exactly what I wanted, so I knew I was going to have to go in and paint over it anyway. As you can see, it has like gloves and like cat ears. Not really what I wanted, but it was close enough, so this is what I'll be using as like the base that I'll be building onto and putting my face onto. I had to select, of the 3 photographs that you see here, I had to pick one to go over the face of this AI rendered body. And I tried on different faces of myself to see which fit the head and the body best and which makeup I liked best. Obviously I went with the photograph of me that has a bit stronger makeup. It just made sense. All of them were good, but this one was the best. So now I'm just going in and I'm sort of sketching a new dress on top of this French maid outfit, which wasn't really what I was going for. I more wanted kind of a 1950s style pièce noir. And although I didn't quite accomplish that entirely, that was what I wanted. And so I just kind of sketched a new figure on top of what was already there. So after sketching a new dress onto the figure, I went ahead, filled it in with some color. I'm sticking to this pink tone, and I'm just gonna go and sort of blend everything in. I also snatched the waistline a little bit more. I felt like the waistline could have been a little smaller. I want kind of a cartoony look. I think I should preface all of this by saying that I don't actually want it to look super realistic. I want it to look kind of cartoony. I want it to look a little bit like what you might see from the Jetsons. Now the petticoat of this dress that I attempted to draw was very difficult for me. I tried my very best to have this sort of petticoat peeking out. It came out okay. Not exactly what I wanted, but it came out okay. I eventually had to just kind of give up and say, okay, this is as good as it's gonna get. It looks good enough. I think someone with imagination can sort of get what I'm going for there, but I have no practice doing any of this. Now, I got a little frustrated with trying to create this sort of petticoat popping out from underneath the dress. I also attempted to make the dress sort of appear a little crumpled up because I'm sitting. I decided to jump around a little bit and try some other things and focus on other areas of this just to kind of give myself a break from being frustrated with that part. So I moved on to trying to create cleavage. I wanted cleavage on this, not too much, not over sexified, but just enough, enough to appear, a little womanly, but not hypersexual. This is a fake body. It's not my own. And so I needed to create cleavage that was realistic. But yeah, so I thought that it was going to be like putting two stones onto my chest and it would just look awful. I played with it for a few minutes and eventually it's just started to come together. Now, moving on to the pearls, this part was a struggle for me. I wanted the pearls to be kind of dazzling, a little sparkly. I cannot stress enough to you all that I have never digitally painted anything before. So I'm doing this with no experience and by trial and error. I don't know how to make something look sparkly digitally. I tried my best to highlight and low light and shade, and I just felt like it wasn't coming out right. So I got frustrated with this too. I kept going and erasing and adding more color, and yeah, it ended up looking like what you see here, which is not terrible. They look more like rocks than they do pearls though. Next, I'm moving on to my legs. I don't want these stockings to go all the way up the leg. I want them to be short so I can add a garter. So I do need to make it appear so my skin is peeping out. This was actually my favorite part. I was really proud of this, even though it was like the tiniest bit of skin here. I just think it ended up coming out so great. This made me actually really like digital painting, and I am looking forward to doing more of it in the future because the way that this blended together just made me so proud. Okay, now I wasn't too sure if I wanted to keep the stockings purple or if I wanted to go pink, if I wanted to use pink as a highlight and leave the purple as kind of like a low light. I ended up just doing the pink, just like keeping the same color, considering this is my first time doing this. And they came out pretty great. I decided on keeping them pink just to stay in line with the rest of the dress. And yeah, they came out nice. So finally, we're moving on to the face. Again, I want this to look really cartoonized. So there's just no point in me having this cartoon looking body, but my face is like just a normal face. I need to make it look a bit more cartoonish too. So I'm painting over my own face with the same tones as my skin, but just to make my face look just as unrealistic as the body. Adding in colors on top of my face just to blend them out and make it look like paint or, like cartoon. I'm doing all of this on my phone, by the way. I don't have like a proper editing setup like Adobe Photoshop. I'm just using random picture editing apps to do all of this. So yeah, please excuse it not being super professional. I'm using what I have, and I think considering using what I have, it's coming out pretty darn good. So oddly enough, this was my least favorite part to do. Well, second to least favorite part. I actually thoroughly enjoyed doing the cleavage because the cleavage came out great, and I really love doing the stockings. So this is the part that I did not like the most. The hair. I don't know how to draw hair. I've never been good at drawing hair. I need to take a few more lessons on how to properly create hair. As you can see, I'm trying to stick to the model here and just build around that. But even with a model, it still came out like weird. It looked a little too gothic, especially here, laying it over my face. It was a terrible idea. And with this app that I'm using to edit, there's no like erase. If I erase, it erases everything and it would just leave like a big blank white space underneath. So I had to kind of go in and repaint my face on. I had to put my face on, and it was a terrible idea. I didn't really know where I was going with the hair. I just kind of went straight for it. And so this was my number one least favorite part to do. I was a little upset because it didn't come out exactly how I wanted. I wasn't too sure how to draw hair at an angle where your face is not straight on, but it's turned to the side. That's just another area for me to get better at. Okay, now time for the fun part. We're moving on to my pet cat. What is a witch without a little pet cat to hang in her lap while she's flying around on her broomstick? I did a basic sketch of what I think a cartoony looking cat looks like. This was not supposed to be realism, or I'm not going for a cat that looks like an actual cat. I'm going for more like a cat that someone would draw who's never seen a cat before, and they're drawing from a description that someone else gave them. That's more what I wanted. And this is just a rough draft here. I went in and like sucked in the cheeks a little bit and brought out the chin and all of these whiskers. So I'm probably most proud of my ridiculous cat. It's the cutest little thing. It looks like a Devon Rex. If you don't know what that breed of cat is, I suggest going to look it up, because that's what a Devon Rex to me looks like. It looks like this. It looks kind of silly and goofy with random hairs sticking out everywhere. And I would love a pet Devon Rex breed cat. And so that is why I use that kind of as like my sort of inspiration behind this cat. Now, again, I'm just doing this. I'm playing by ear. I'm kind of flying blind here. I don't really know how to draw animals at all. I'm doing this purely from my imagination and trying to make my imagination appear on this canvas. I struggled a lot with the eyes. On this thing. I erased and redrew the eyes so many times off camera. I eventually just kind of got to a point where I'm like, you know what? It's fine. The cat is going to be shrunken down and it's going to be in the lap of my figurine that I've drawn. So I don't think anyone's really going to notice. I wanted the cat to look a little sad. I wanted it to look a little freaked out and a little sad because its owner is flying above the city on a broom with no seatbelt. And so I wanted the cat to be like a little anxious. I couldn't really get that to come across in the eyes though. but that's okay. I love how she came out. I think it's so cute. I would like a cat that looks like this, and I would love it to death. I think it's just the most adorable thing. So there's my pet cat for my character here. Finally, it's time to put all of this together. I've taken the little witchy lady that I've drawn and stuck my face onto and my little cat, and I've put them on the backdrop that I created, and now I'm just gonna go in and try to blend it together and make it look like, you know, they're supposed to go together and that they weren't created separately. What is a witch without her broom? I went searching for a broom. At this point, I was tired. I didn't want to go and draw a broom because there's a plethora of brooms available. I just needed to pick one that was good. I wanted one that looked old and, like, you know, ragged, and, you know, maybe kind of useless as an actual cleaning utensil, right? Not something that you'd use to clean because it might make more of a mess because it's just so dry and brittle. That one wasn't good. It just didn't sit right. It wasn't straight enough, and it didn't appear so she was actually sitting on it and holding on to it. So I grabbed another one. This one worked out perfect. I just needed to change the color a little bit, blend it in a little bit, make it a little dark, and yeah. And now I'm just putting on the final touches. We're adding a vignette just to darken everything a little bit. I felt like it kind of took away from the glow of the moon, but you know what? That's okay. There's always Halloween next year where I can make another one, and maybe even an you know, better one. I added Happy Halloween, of course, and went through a bunch of different fonts. I mean, I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled. You guys didn't see all of that because I want to save you having to rip out your eyes watching me choose every single one of these fonts. So I found one that I finally liked. I ended up on this one because it's just so perfect. It's perfect. It looks exactly how I wanted it to look in my imagination. Now I just add some color, some shading, some highlights, and there you go. That is your Happy Halloween. I added just a few more things. The bats in the original background that I created ended up getting covered by my figurine, so I had to add more bats in. But once I did that, I felt like I was done. No more adding stuff because it was not going to come out right. So here you go. Now, I didn't mention that I have no experience digitally painting. This is my first time doing a digital painting, and though I'm happy with it, I am a little disappointed. I did expect it to be even better. It's great, and I should give myself some credit because I did all of this in, like, I don't know, maybe 3 hours. From start to finish, from creating the background to digitally painting myself, you know, as this witchy woman riding her broomstick, to painting my little cat. All of that all together about 3 hours. So I have to commend myself, although I must admit that I do need to practice a bit more. I think it is important with what I experienced here moving forward. I'm definitely going to spend more time laying down a sketch before I add color and start blending things together. I want to, like, really get my sketch solid and really get onto the canvas, digital or no, what I want exactly before I start putting down color. So this was a learning experience, fun one, but very learning. I think the next time I do a digital painting or a physical painting, I'm going to spend far more time trying to create the sketch and the outline first and foremost before having any fun painting it. And that's it. That is it. I had so much fun making this. I hope you all enjoyed watching it. I cannot wait to make more. If you'd like to follow along as I explore my own creativity, subscribe And I would greatly appreciate it if you would like to help me gather the tools that I need to do more interesting things that I'd like to do with this channel. There will be some links down in the description box for those of you who would like to help this channel grow and donate and do some other things along with me. So until the next one, bye-bye.